Welcome to the 17th annual Staten Island Black History Townhall meeting, where we celebrate the accomplishments of our community, large and small. We are grateful to have you with us today as we celebrate all that is being done across the educational, business, religious, faith-based, and other community aspects. This year's featured keynote speaker is the one and only Chancellor of Education of New York City, David Banks. We are also excited to have a number of our elected officials with us today, both virtual and in person, as well as community activists, social and entrepreneurs. So please stay tuned as we celebrate the 17th annual Staten Island Black History Town Hall meeting, standing together through extraordinary challenges.
We are the pride of our cable line. We are the pride of our cable line. We are the pride of our cable line. Black History Month. Something that means a lot to a lot of people. Usually, in Black History Month, we talk about the accomplishments of those individuals who've done so much to lift up this country and lift up the world. We talk about, the Malcolms and the Martins and the Kobe's and the and the Serenas and the this and the that, and those who did the first Black to do this and the first Black to do that. I like to just give a little different aspect. A couple of things we very rarely talk about during Black History Month. One of those is what went on long ago. First people on the planet. That's where Black History Month should start. And the most recent, because Black history, 10 minutes ago. Your Black history. This is Black history. As I'm speaking now, just walked out the window. So we have a responsibility. We have something that we have to hold on to and move forward. It's no accident that so many things started on the continent of Africa, or as our most learned scholar, Dr. Ben taught us, was one of the earliest names for Africa was Al-Kabalan. So on Al-Kabalan, mankind started over 150,000 years ago, so that we would be the first to come up with things in science, in medicine, in philosophy, that we would be the first. It's not an accident. We were just here first. It's not a mystery. So in honor of that, we have come forward a long way. Think of how long it would take, how many generations it would take to start a calendar. A simple thing, something we take for granted. But how many people had to look up at the stars, observe day and night, the coming and going of how many days and so forth. The first 30-day calendar started on the continent. How many generations took for simple things to take place? Things we take so much for granted. It's not a mystery. We were just here longer than everybody else. And as we traveled and moved across the world, other peoples, we started peopling other places in the world. Not a mystery. We were just here first. So don't teach your children that our history starts with the enslavement period. Don't teach your children that. You do them a disservice. You do them a disservice. Our history doesn't start there. Way back when. but also our history is recent. We are heirs and custodians of a great legacy. Mary McLeod Bethune said that. We are heirs and custodians of a great legacy. Now, to be an heir of a great legacy, well, that's kind of easy. You know, all you got to do is be here to be an heir of a great legacy. But to be the custodian of a great legacy, now that's different. Now you got to take care of it. You got to nurture it. You got to make sure that it holds. You got to make sure that you move it forward. To be the custodian of a great legacy, that's a whole different ballpark. You got to be a custodian of a great legacy. See, we have pride in all those that went before us, and that's great. That's a beautiful thing. But those who come after us have to have pride in us. We're the Black history. What we do from now on, everything we do, that becomes a historic event. It becomes in the past. So that's our responsibility. That's our burden. That's what we have to look forward to doing. We have to be the pride of our cable line. We have to be the pride of our cable line. Let me hear you say it. We are the pride of our cable line. But you know how we do. We are the pride of our cable line. We are the pride of our cable. Sing it. We are the pride of our cable line. We are the pride of our cable line. We are the pride of our cable line. If you don't say it, it ain't gonna happen. You won't believe it. We are the pride of our cable line. We are the pride of our cable line. If I turn off this mic, I better hear y'all.
Thank Brother Taylor for blessing us with the opening in the West African tradition. Amen. We're going to now have our welcome by a phenomenal leader indeed. She leads our Youth Build Impact program, educational program that enriches young men and women to not only go on and get their GEDs and high school equivalencies, but leads them to leadership roles in our community. And I'm so proud that they've already graduated well over 50 young Staten Islanders. So Miss Elizabeth Morgan is coming now with our welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. That's what I'm talking about. I want to warmly welcome you to the 17th annual Staten Island Black History Town Hall. Today's theme, Standing Strong, Together Through Historic Challenges. Again, my name is Liz Morgan, and I'm a proud member of Hidden Pearls of Staten Island of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I'm also the proud director of Youthful Impact here at the Central Family Life Center, a program that with love and respect partners with Opportunity Youth to build the skill sets and mindsets that lead to lifelong learning, livelihood, and leadership. These young people are the greatest need of our support, and they are our greatest source of untapped potential. Can you please, youthful students, rise up, and graduates, rise up so we can congratulate the work that you do. Yes. Yes, let's honor our young people. They are the future, our future leaders of Staten Island right here in our own presence. Thank you. As we all know, Black history takes place every day, as was mentioned earlier. So this is not a Black History Month celebration, but a celebration of our history, your history, and everybody's history. That is why our theme today is so relevant. With all that our ancestors have been through and gone through, and our recent national challenges, we all know that we will overcome because we are resilient and strong. However, we have to stand strong together because of the power that we all hold. I want you to stand tall, rise above the chaos and take time to think about how you can make a difference in one person's life, just one. Imagine now if that person makes a difference in another person's life, and this continues. Together, we have the power to fix a broken city, state, and a nation. Thank you. Today, we honor Staten Island heroes and sheroes who have made that difference. Congratulations to all the honorees. I want to now give it back to someone we all know is an incredible overcomer, who is truly strong and powerful and brought us all here together. Reverend Dr. Demetrius Carolina.
Thank you. Standing strong together, right? That's what it's all about. Wonderful. While we're all standing, it's time for our Pledge of Allegiance, and I am so proud that our Pledge of Allegiance is coming from Miss Ashe. Did I say right? Ashe? Aisha, thank you. Miss Aisha Berry, one of our after-school participants. Where's Aisha? You have to come up so we can see you, Miss Aisha. There you go. One of our most bright stars. You take the mic. There you go. And we're going to look that way, and you lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Miss Aisha. We're going to have something special for you at the end as well for leading us. Now we're going to hear from one of Staten Island's finest, a talent beyond talents. Miss Paula Hughey is going to come and sing for us our national anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with a harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us.
facing the rising sun of our new days begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Wonderful, wonderful. You may be seated. Members, I was getting ready to wrap, but I guess that would be a little undignified at this juncture. With us, and so we want to take a moment to do two things. We want to recognize all of our clergy. So I'm asking for all clergy to please stand wherever you may be. Wonderful. 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 Thank you so much for being here. As we celebrate Black History Month, we do know we must celebrate our clergy leaders. You work valiantly, tirelessly, and your efforts mean a great deal, not only historically, but relevantly today. And I just want to take a moment, if you will, join with me in a moment of silence in the 10th year anniversary of the death of Trayvon Martin. Thank you so much. And of course, I messed up something, as I always do. Miss Paula Hugie is so talented and so gracious. She sang the national anthem when she was supposed to, well, I should have said the national Black anthem. And so we have Miss Tatiana Santos, who has, you know, we're doing virtual now. Everything is hybrid. So at the end, we will have Tatiana's version sang for us as well. But we're going to ask Miss Paula Hugie to come back again and do double duty, because we will not go forward without the national Black national anthem being sang. That's right. Oh, she did the Black. I thought that was the regular one. All right. Well, there you go. Put that anywhere you want to put it, but we're ready. I know that's right. Be careful what you ask for.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wonderful, wonderful. You may be seated. Miss Staten Island, Tatiana. You wouldn't know it, but she couldn't be here with us today because she has COVID. But thank goodness it certainly didn't affect her voice, and she has minimal symptoms. So let's thank her again for. Alonzo Rendell will come down with I Have a Dream. Alonzo. Wonderful. One of our Youth Build graduates and now one of the employees of the Central Family Life Center through our Test and Trace program. Wonderful.
Hello, everybody. I'm here to read a famous speech for y'all. I have a dream. I have a dream. It is deeply rooted in an American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slaves owners will be able to sit down together at the same table of brotherhood. I have a dream one day even the state of Mississippi, a state of sweltering with the heat of injustice, state with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into the oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the colors of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be excelled and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain and the crooked places will remain straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. Martin Luther King.
One of our graduates, Miss Isis, thank you so much. I'm so proud that not only did she graduate from our Youth Build program, she is in fact working with our Test and Traced program here, and they do a phenomenal job. You'll hear more from them a little later. I have to say every year now for at least 10 years, I believe, running, Dr. Wesby, who is the professor emeritus at Wagner College and also the music director at our neighboring sister church, Trinity Lutheran, has been with us. He and his lovely wife and family have always been a part of this. And at one point, we would see the whole Wagner choral up top here. Those of you who've been attending for a while, you know that. Can you imagine? It's been 17 years. Mike, you've been here 17 years. I looked at our DA. Our DA was, when we started, our council member, then our congressman, and now our DA. Only in small town Staten Island, right? He's been coming all those years. So Dr. Welsby is going to come down and introduce to you this wonderful musical tribute that he's going to give to us on the 17th anniversary of us walking and standing together strong through various challenges. Doctor, come.
Good afternoon. It's always an honor and a joy to be here among you and to be a part of this event. I promised the pastor that I would speak for only a minute, and I might go over a little bit, but I really want to be brief. We unfortunately, after being here in person for 10 years, are unable to be here this year, but we did prepare for you a video, and I want to just tell you briefly about it. And I just want to say, first of all, we don't only do this music in February. This is something we do all year long, and we consider Black African-American music to be foundational and absolutely an essential part of American musical history. And it's something upon which almost all of our music is built. And Anyway, our video has 4 short pieces. The first one is a concert spiritual, Walk Together Children, which seemed appropriate for the theme of the town hall this year. It features Alyssa Myers and Dorian Lake, 2 really brilliant singers who live on Staten Island. Second is This Same Jesus. It's from the wonderful Black harmonizing quartet tradition. This is a tradition that gave us people like Sam Cooke and Lou Rawls, and which has been the foundation of African-American gospel singing in the church and in popular music as well. This was from the Breath of Life Quartet originally, and once again, our soloist is Dorian Lake. The third piece is an outgrowth of the second one. It's now a sextet, and it's a much more advanced and developed type of piece of music. This is called A Quiet Place. It's an arrangement that was done for the group Take 6 by one of its members, Mervyn Warren. And there's a brief solo there, also sung by Dorian Lake. And we finally conclude with a piece that I wrote in kind of in response to the racial reckoning that began after the murder of George Floyd. It's not really a protest song. It's kind of a manifesto of idealistic desires and dreams. This is called We're Gonna Rise. And if you hear a little bit of Maya Angelou in that title, then that's good. So thank you for letting me be here.
Walk together, children. Walk together, children. Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. I said, walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great meeting in the promised land.
Well, walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
I'm gonna walk and never tire. Walk and never tire. I'm gonna walk and never tire. 'Cause there's a great meeting in the promised land.
Oh, walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
I said, walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children.
Don't you get weary. Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great meeting in the promised land.
Walk together, children.
Oh, stand
together, children.
Oh,
Work together, children.
don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
I'm gonna
Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great meeting in the promised land. Oh, walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
I said, walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children.
Don't you get weary. Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great meeting in the promised land.
Well, now this same Jesus who walked in Galilee. Well, now this same Jesus who taught beside the sea. Well, now this same Jesus, by faith I have been told. This same Jesus will save your soul. Well, now this same Jesus who walked in Galilee. Well, now this same Jesus who taught beside the sea. Well, now this same Jesus, by faith I have been told. This same Jesus will save your soul. Well, now this same Jesus who heard the Hebrew children down in Egypt land. This same Jesus will lift your burden. This same Jesus will take your hand. Well, this same Jesus who walked in Galilee. Well, now this same Jesus who taught beside the sea. Well, now this same Jesus, by faith I have been told. This same Jesus will save your soul. Well, now this same Jesus who locked the lion's jaw, down in Daniel's den. This same Jesus will lift your burden. This same Jesus will be your friend. Well, now this same Jesus who walked in Galilee. Well, now this same Jesus taught beside the sea. Well, now this same Jesus, by faith I have been told. This same Jesus will save your soul. This same Jesus who walked in Galilee. This same Jesus who taught beside the sea. This same Jesus, by faith I have been told. My child, now this same Jesus will save your soul. This same Jesus who walked in Galilee. This same Jesus who taught beside the sea. This same Jesus, by faith I have been told. My child, now this same Jesus will save your soul. There is a quiet place, far from the rapid pace, where God can soothe my troubled mind. Shelter
We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise.
We're gonna rise up from these ashes.
We're gonna heal these broken wings. We're gonna soar over these hateful walls. We're gonna save the children, gonna set the captives free.
We're gonna clear away these ruins.
We're gonna break these chains of hate. We're gonna raise a banner of hope for humankind. We're gonna plant a garden meant for all.
We're gonna build a city high on a hill. We're gonna be a beacon burning bright. We're gonna make a world with room for everyone.
We're gonna build a city high on a hill. We're gonna be a beacon burning bright. We're gonna make a world with no room for fear.
We're gonna rise up singing.
We're gonna march. We're gonna march till justice is ours. We're gonna live in harmony with that's all. Of the human family where we all belong.
We're gonna build a city high on a hill. We're gonna be a beacon burning bright. We're gonna make a world with room for everyone.
We're gonna build a city high on a hill. We're gonna be a beacon burning bright. We're gonna make a world with no room for fear.
We're gonna rise. We've got to 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 build a city high on a hill.
We've got to build a beacon
Burning bright.
We've got to get a man.
I know we can do it. We're gonna make it bright. Whoa.
We're gonna rise up. We're gonna live.
We're gonna make it rise.
Gonna make a world free. We're gonna rise. 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 We're gonna rise.
For our theme, Standing Strong Together Through Historic Challenges. Let's thank him again for, and all those who participated in that virtual presentation. Thank you. truly appreciate it. I am ever reminded that together there's nothing we can't do. You know, that old adage of divided and conquer and divide is real, but we are a community, black, white, we are all in this together. We're in this together. It is amazing to me that in the world, not just this nation, where there are enough resources for everyone to have, that we still have poor people. And we have that because of greed and a lack of will to work together. Same thing is true when it comes to gun violence. Same thing is true that when it comes to ignorance, it is a matter of will. And the fact is a testament of you being here today, even though we are coming out of the pandemic, the fact that you are willing to give of your time to physically be here, and thank you for those who are with us virtually, speaks volumes of the fact that you are willing to work together. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I have to take a moment. Our chancellor is here, our keynote speaker. The chancellor has been with us in Staten Island for, I guess now, close to 10 years or more. We've been doing this 17 years, but ever since our chancellor started coming, he has consistently continued to come. And I whispered in his ear that we're grateful that he's here, because I know he's busy and he's doing a phenomenal job. He said, as long as we invite him, he's coming. So what a commitment. I don't know how long Staten Island is going to continue to put up with me, but as long as I'm here, you have an open invitation. I want to thank our chancellor. He really needs no introduction. David has championed education throughout decades in this city, in this nation. He is a leading voice. His book, Soar, speaks of how we as men and women can get an eagle's mentality to rise above the challenges that we all face. That's right. That's right. He is an impassioned and inspiring leader. I tell the story, and I have to tell it now. I went to his office in Manhattan, and I'm glad he didn't throw me out, because he said all the eagles that were going to come through the city were done. And they even went past Staten Island, was in Newark, New Jersey. And I promised him that I would do an eagle squat on his desk until one came to Staten Island. And David said to me, the chancellor said to me, if you can get the support, we will come to Staten Island. And it was an uphill battle, but there is an eagle in Staten Island doing well and strong. Matter of fact, his baby eagle is Staten Island. And now he's a chancellor, and I know the same energy, the same tenace, and the same vigor that he led the Eagle Foundation and was the former principal of a phenomenal school in another borough. He's going to take and do the same across this great city. And I'm sure our educational system, which is the largest in the nation, will be a phenomenal model for the rest of the nation. I believe there are some Staten Island Eagles here with us. There's some Staten Island Eagles here with us. Where are you, Staten Island Eagles? There they are. I want them to come up now. Come up, our Staten Island Eagles. I believe they have something to say before our chancellor comes up. You know, school is not even in session, but this is the dedication of their principal, Mr. Cameron, and the parents and leaders of Eagle, that we still have some Eagles with us. Even though school is closed, we got some Eagles with us.
Hello. Welcome, Chandler.
Hello. Welcome, Chandler.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Without any further ado, our keynote speaker, our educational leader, and certainly our leader just in terms of example, our Chancellor, David Banks.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you? Oh my gosh, so good to see you. So good to see everybody. Good morning, everybody. Is it still morning? It's afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see you all. As Dr. Carolina said, this is not my first time here. And I remember meeting that you referred to, because we didn't have any intention of really coming to Staten Island. And when I had my meeting with Pastor, he was the one who fully got me to commit that we would come to Staten Island. So we got to thank him, because if it wasn't for him, and I think it was Tammy who introduced us, and she was the one. I met her somewhere in the city, and she said, you got to come to Staten Island, you got to meet Pastor, and came out here. And I will tell you that under the leadership of Jermaine Cameron and the work that he has been doing at Eagle Academy in Staten Island, we would be very proud. I'm very proud of that brother as a leader, and I'm very proud of the work of the young men, what they have been doing to be fully engaged. And so, listen, I am just finishing up my second month as chancellor. And it has been a whirlwind, really. You know, we had a tragic fire in the Bronx. We lost 8 young people. And I went around and I visited each school that one of the young people who passed away attended, together with the mayor. And we visited, and there was one school in particular that we visited. It was a charter school. And there was a teacher in the school who said, first of all, every one of the schools we visited, everybody was just overwhelmed with grief. Right? Because it's one thing when you hear about a story like that on the news, but it's another thing when you actually go to the schools where those kids attended and talk to the teachers who taught them. It really makes it come alive, and to hear what they were, the emotional grief that they were sharing. But one teacher in particular, he pulled out a letter that one of the little girls, she was in the 5th grade, and I'll never forget it, because she had just written this letter to him 1 month before the fire. You know, and she was in the 5th grade, and she was from West Africa, and she said to him in the letter, and he's reading the letter to us, that what she knew more than anything was, she thanked him for being such a kind person. And she said, and I know if one thing more than anything else, when I grow up, you know what she said? I want to be a kind person because you are such a kind person to me. But this brother, he's reading it and he's in tears as he's reading it. And she just wrote it a month before. And she had the whole world in front of her. And that's why, you know, every day is a gift. And we ought to live each and every day like it's a gift, because that's what it is. It is not a given that you will be here tomorrow. My mother, I would say that to my mother when I was younger, I said, they say, Ma, you know, tomorrow is not promised to you. My mother would say, the rest of the day is not promised to you, son. So you have to live as though this is going to be it for you, right? Don't take anything for granted. And so what I'm here to do, as I've stepped into this role as chancellor, and I have visited schools in every borough across the city, and what I see is a tremendous amount of potential. In spite of all the negative things that we see and we hear. And the negative things are real. 65% of Black and brown children in our school system never achieve proficiency in reading and math. And yet we have a $38 billion budget. That's an act of betrayal. And we ought to be outraged about it. The most fundamental thing that you should expect from a school system is that it will, at the very least, in spite of poverty, in spite of challenges in the neighborhood, whether mommy and daddy are together, you should expect that the school system is going to teach your child how to read. I mean, if you come to church every Sunday, you should learn a little something about Jesus, right? I'm not saying you're going to have to learn it all, but you should learn a little something about Jesus if you come to church every Sunday morning. Well, if you go to school every single day from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, and we give you a diploma and you never even learn to be functionally literate, that's a travesty. And that's going to change. That is absolutely going to change. I want young people to go through the New York City public schools and have a wonderful school experience. And I want them to come out with a great deal of knowledge about themselves, about the contributions of their people to this city, to this nation, to this world. And they should learn about what other people have done as well. That's what a real education is about. If you go to school and only learn about through one perspective, that's not education, that's indoctrination. There's a difference. There's a difference between schooling and educating. You're going to ask the average child at our schools, you go in them and sit next to them in 8th grade, 6th grade, 9th grade, whatever, and ask them what they're working on. And the response all too often is, I'm doing my work. Doing my work. Doing my work is code for, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because the teacher gave us an assignment. Mommy said I had to come to school. I'm trying to be compliant. But I don't understand what this is. I don't understand how it connects to my life. I don't think it's relevant. I don't know if it's going to help me where I'm trying to go. Why do we send our children to school in the first place? The fundamental question that we have to ask. And are our schools ultimately preparing our children so that they can be successful in life? And the answer for far too many children is that the answer is no. When I think about Black history, the reason why Black history or history in general is important is because it is supposed to be the opportunity for you to learn lessons that will then guide you as you are moving forward. I mean, to study history just for history's sake is nice, but it is supposed to be instructive. I know one of the things I've noticed here is part of the theme of the church, right? It says growing, moving, and committed. Well, you can't grow without knowledge. You can't move unless you're really inspired and understanding moving where. What do we do? Because you can just move. I can just move around. That's moving. But purposeful moving means you are clear about where you're going. But you can't be clear about where you're going if you're not clear about where you've come from. That's why history is important. And Black history in this nation is American history. You hear arguments that are made as though somehow, it's a diversion of some sort. You cannot teach the history of this nation without ensuring that you're talking about the history of Black folks in America. Everybody needs to know that so that you know who you are and whose you are. That you stand on the shoulders of people who fought, bled, died, sacrificed, and built this nation. America would not be the economic superpower that it is if it were not for the Black folks who were in this country. That's just a fact. 400 years of free labor. That's how America got to be America. And you have to tell that story. One of my favorite quarterbacks when he was in the NFL, Drew Brees, he played for the New Orleans Saints. And he had come out with a position. He said, you know, when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee for the national anthem and said, I won't do it. He said, I could never take a knee. Why? Because my father and my grandfather fought for this nation. When he made that comment, what he was suggesting was that your father and your grandfather didn't fight for this nation. My father, my grandfathers, our forebears, they fought for this nation as well. You see what I mean? So it's, and in fact, the first person to die in the American Revolutionary War was a black man, Crispus Attucks. But they asked Drew Brees, he said, he never heard of Crispus Attucks. He said, I've never been taught that. That's the point. Black history is not just for black people. Black history is for everybody. Because when you don't know the fullness of history, you're not getting a real education. You need to understand what the Latinx community has contributed to this nation. The Asian Pacific Islander communities have contributed to this nation. The black community, what they have contributed to this mosaic. That's why America is what it is. But America has yet to reconcile with telling its whole truth. And America can never be all that it's supposed to be until it reconciles with that. That's why you will see, I saw an incident several years ago, and they had it on TV, and it was showing it as a form of indoctrination and how this plays out. They were in Chicago, and there was a killing that had happened in one of the projects in Chicago. And the media was on the scene, and the journalists were in the studio, and they are interviewing people on the scene. And it's on a summer night. And it's a late night, and there's a little boy, he must have been about 10 years old, and they interviewed him. And they played the tape of the interview. And they said, how do you feel about what happened out here? And he was looking around, and he just said, when I get older, I'm going to get me a gun. And they cut it, and they played it. And the reporters in the studio said, wow, and you see why the cycle continues. Because the suggestion was that here's another little black boy that's going to grow up to be a black man who's going to get a gun and engage in acts of violence. Here's what they did not show you. The fullness of what that young man said. He said, after he was asked the question, how does this make you feel? He said, when I get older, I'm going to get me a gun because I'm going to be a police officer and protect all the people in my community from the bad guys. Somebody editorially made a decision to cut that part off, to then project the continuation of a negative stereotype. You understand me? Those are decisions that get made that create narratives which continue to foster mindset that allows in Bridgewater, in the mall out here in Jersey, where a black boy and a white boy get into a fight in the mall, kids get into fights. That's been happening all our lives. I don't know if you've ever been in a fight. I've been in a fight. Middle school, high school, kids fight. Not the worst thing in the world. They didn't pull out weapons on each other. Words were exchanged. They threw some punches at each other. They arrested. The two cops come in, pin the black boy who's in the 8th grade and smaller, pin him down, knees on him. The white boy who's in the 10th grade, 2 years older and bigger, you sit down while we throw him on the ground and we are arresting him. And as they pick him up off the ground in handcuffs, the white boy stands up, puts his hands up like, I guess I'm getting arrested as well. And they said, no, 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 you go home, Johnny. We see these kinds of things happen all the time. But the question is the mindset that creates that. What allowed those two officers instinctively to say the black boy must have been the one who started it? He must have been the one who was the problem. There's something, because that when that's in your psyche, and that psyche gets fostered by a lack of education, when you don't see the humanity in everyone, when you see negative images on a daily basis, it makes everybody, white police officers, black people, who also negatively sometimes see our own children. It's almost natural human behavior if that is the narrative that is constantly being perpetuated into our minds and into our spirit and into our psyche. You see the young black man, it must be trouble. So that narrative has to change. And there's no better place for it to change than in our public schools. And so in the spirit of Eric Garner, right? In the spirit of Eric Garner, to have somebody have your life choked out of you. We all as human beings need to continue to grow and to move and to learn and to be liberated from an educational system that has not been about liberation. That's not what it's been about. It's been about indoctrination. But if we want to liberate all of our children, black children, Latin children, Asian children, white children, they all have to be told the truth. And that is what is going to happen during this administration. Mark my words. So thank you, everybody. Pastor, I appreciate you. I thank you for allowing me to have brought the Eagle Academy here to Staten Island. Thank you for allowing us to do this work that we've done. But I tell you this, the best is yet to come. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. All right. Let me give you something for you. Okay.
I am so proud to present to our Chancellor a certificate of appreciation and to Chancellor David C., as in Cool Cat Banks. Grateful appreciation for you being here and honor our honored guests on this 26th day of February 2022, presented by the Staten Island Black History Town Hall.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor.
Dave, before you go, I just want to say one quick thing, because I know our chancellor has to leave, and I don't want to get beat up by our Staten Island crew. The only ask we have, because you know I'm always going to ask, right, is that you promise to come back and meet with some of our Staten Island leaders regarding education here in Staten Island. We have a number of people here who have some wonderful, you know, again, don't, so that I cover everybody, so you all don't beat me up. They have some requests, some asks, and there have been some challenges, but we are working together to bring you a comprehensive list of some concerns so that we can make that wonderful mosaic that you described a reality on Staten Island. Did I do well, folks? All right. Let's hear for our Chancellor. We have a number of phenomenal leaders with us as well. And so I want to recognize some of our phenomenal leaders before we get to our awardees. And one of the reasons I told our staff that we don't do programs ever in 17 years, we just put notes, because things always change. Folks have schedules and different things, so we always just keep it loose a little bit. But there are a number of groups with us, and on the flyer, which I don't have in front of me, you'll see the names of no less than 50 different nonprofit organizations who've partnered with us throughout the years to make this town hall a reality. And of course, one of the wonderful staff will get that for me, so we'll make sure we say the names of all of those persons. And then I'm going to also make a point of mentioning some of our program managers that are with us in the wonderful work they do. The only anti-violence program on Staten Island is being led by our program manager, Iron Mike Perry. I'm going to ask True to Life. I thought I know I saw True to Life. Oh, they're way upstairs. Oh, okay. So I want you all to look up and see these wonderful men and women whose over 600 days of no shootings and stabbings in what was formerly one of the most violent prone communities in this borough, and Stapleton and Mariners Harbor, and now in the Park Hill area, and also in the New Brighton area of Staten Island. Look at these phenomenal, intelligent, wonderful leaders that are helping us to save lives on a daily basis. We salute you and we thank you. Appreciate you. Excellent. Want to also take a moment to recognize one of our honorees, actually, running our program that talks about beautification, our program about loving where you live. And he has really been a bridge builder in a very short period of time, probably brought together about 20 different groups. I shouldn't talk about him now because he happens to be one of our honorees, but he happens to also be a leader of one of our programs, Love Where You Live, Pastor Teddy Otobo Sharif. Thank you, sir. Our T2 program that has done a phenomenal job making sure that our community stays safe. They've given out PPEs, all of those wonderful things. Miss Michelle Perkins, where are you? There she is. T2. They might be out of camera vision, but here they come. All of these phenomenal, intelligent young people who make the dream a reality of keeping our community safe. In 1 month, they give out well over 10,000 units of PPEs throughout Staten Island. That small group. You've heard from them before, but we want to recognize them again. Our Youth Build Impact, our young people led by Liz Morgan, the staff and students of Youth Build Impact. The gentleman who's running all the technology, he also runs our seniors program. He runs our after-school tutorial program. He is really gifted to be able to work with the seniors and the children. I dare say the two most challenging populations I have ever encountered in my adult life. He has a wonderful ability to blend the two and make it intergenerational, and they love him. They pack out the place. He's on the camera. He can't show himself, but Mr. Reverend Sam Maharaj Dennis. This gentleman runs all of our mentorship programs in the schools. We're in 3 different schools. He oversees Taekwondo, Saturday Academy. This guy does, I don't know, he does it all and he does it well. And he's our protector and our guide and our mentor and our friend, Reverend Dale Smith. There's a lot of moving parts, and so I have some text as well as some things. So I'm going to look out and tell you that we have our governor is being represented here today by our phenomenal friend, Tom Scammett. Stand, Tom, so they can see you. Tom Scammett. The governor is represented here today. Thank you. We have some elected officials here today, but before I ask them to come, there are a number of persons who are running for office. And because the narrative is often that Carolina is pushing one person versus another, I want everybody who is running for elected office to be acknowledged today. If you're here, stand so we can see you. We want wonderful. Look at these phenomenal folks that are running for office. All right. All right. All right. Right. Excellent. So please let it be said that I have recognized everyone running for office that is present. Please let it be said, amen, that I'm not in any corner as of yet. When I am, I will let you know. And please also let it be said that of all of our elected representatives, I love you. It's nothing personal, but if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing for our community, you shouldn't be in office. And I'll work hard to get you out. We want to also recognize, oh, I can see all these folks. Okay. We want to recognize these folks and have them come and have something to say. And we're going to give them 2 minutes. And then we will, if they don't take 2 minutes, we will pretend like we're at the Apollo. I don't know why Minnie's sitting in the back. We already had a conversation. You're part of the committee. You better come on up here, girl. Yeah. So our former council person, that's right, encourage. Isn't she lovely? We're going to hear from a couple of these phenomenal leaders. First, we love our partnership with NYPD, and we certainly love this phenomenal woman who we recognize for the great work that she always does in the community, because she's really grassroots, really community, really has a love for our community, and really knows what community policing is all about. We've seen measurable improvement and change under her leadership. Tanya, please come and address us.
Thank you, family. Thank you, family. Thank you, my family. Again, I am nothing, no one without everyone sitting here. Okay? I want all of our children to stand up right now. Every youth, stand up right now. Everybody, stand up. And I want you to know that right now we are in a crisis. And everyone here today has an obligation to make sure that we turn around. We knock on our neighbors' doors. We are their keepers. We make sure their kids, help them get food. Make sure that they're staying off the street corners. Make sure they're not looking up to people they're not supposed to be looking up to. So everyone sitting here today, we have an obligation to our children, because we're sitting here. We did the right thing. We went the right path, or we went sideways and then we got back on the right path, right? But we need to make sure that everyone here today grab our children, because we're in a crisis and the children are our future. And we need to make sure that our children, because they're not, even I don't birth you, you are my child. We need to make sure that our children stay off the street. We need to make sure that our children keep the guns away from each other. We need to make sure that we are not shooting each other and killing each other. Because that's what it's all about. And when this happens, that is when I know that I've succeeded in life. All right, God bless. Thank you.
Can't ask for more than that. Excellent. our Assemblyman Charles Fall. He was just sitting here. Oh, he had to jump on a Zoom. Okay. So please know our Assemblyman is with us. Oh, he's coming in now. All right. He's the shortest guy in the room, our Assemblyman, Charles Fall.
Sorry about that. I was on a Zoom. I didn't hear the introduction, but I know it was kind. You always keep it kind. Thank you so much, Pastor. Good afternoon, everybody. It's so good to see everybody in person. Finally. One of the things I just really want to, before I start, highlight is the leadership of Dr. Carolina, all he does for our community, the keynote speaker that he brought to the House. I am so hopeful for our education system because I know we're going to see some deliverables in this administration. So thank you, Pastor Carolina, for all you do for us. You know, the month of Black History is so important for me because it reminds me of all of the folks that were here before us, you know, and all of their sacrifice, all that they have done, and how we still have so much work to do, you know. And yesterday, I was so excited, and this is because of the leadership of Councilmember Debbie Rose, that we finally got a ferry boat named Sandy Ground. And I'm sure there's going to be more that comes from the council member because, you know, she was in office for 12 years. She's not in office now, but this is just part of the stuff that we're seeing of what her impact was as she was a member of the city council. And so when you think about where we are today and how we have to continue to encourage wealth building within our community, the importance of owning homes, you know, these are some of the things that I'm going to be focused on going into next term because we need to see some state resources to help out our communities because the state has not done enough for our community and we need action instead of rhetoric. You know, so I am so thankful again, Pastor Carolina, for having me here. Councilmember Rose, thank you for your leadership during this time. If it wasn't for you paving the way for me, I would not be the first Black man to be elected in Staten Island. And I also want to thank our district attorney and the deputy inspector Kinsella, for her leadership during this time. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. We want to also recognize and thank, again, I joked earlier, he was a councilman and a congressman and now our DA, and he stays with us, and we appreciate him for being here. Our own DA, Mike McMahon.
Good afternoon, First Central. You said 35 minutes I have? 35? I'm really honored to be here. I want to start by saying, Ashe. And I do that. I'm reminded of my good friend Al Peters, who's not with us. So we miss him. And I'm just thinking, Pastor, you said it's 17 years, right? And I think so many of us were amazed at how much has happened here at this church, in this community. But I some things I can't figure out about time. 17 years we've been together. And as you said, I've been in different job positions, and you have been in the same one doing such great work. But I look like 17 years have passed. I had black hair then. Look at you. What the heck? He looks younger and healthier. I don't know what it is. Yes, the First Lady. There you go. There she is. I'll tell you what. So we all thank you for making him the great man that he is and all the great work that he is doing here in this community. And I say that as someone who works on a daily basis to keep this community safe and to make sure that we strengthen the fabric of justice in this community and every community across Staten Island. We couldn't do it without the Cure Violence team, without the Youth Build team, without everyone who works in the programs that this church brings forward, this collaboration, this partnership that you do. And I know I speak for our Chief Yee and incredible Tanya Kinsella. You know, 17 years ago, she was a beat cop in the 120. And look at her now with all the gold and the whole thing. And to Debbie Rose, my partner for so many years, and she also, right? I mean, the lifting the burden of office has suited you very well. You also look 17 years younger. And to my partner, Charles, of course, and to everyone in the community, I got to, you know, as a white man, it's so important that I make sure that as we celebrate Black history, that you know that how much I agree with the sentiments of what the young lady when she read Dr. Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech, and you know that's this creed, this American creed, that all men are created equal, right? And we know that it's all men and women of every color and religion and background and faith and orientation, sexual orientation or whatever, that everyone feels that they are created in this equal. And I, as a white American, cannot be successful in a land where that's not the truth. And that's something that I firmly believe from the bottom of my heart. And I hope in the work that I do every day and the men and women who work in my office every day who strive to do justice in every case and to prevent crime and deal with the opioid addiction crisis and deal with the mental health crisis that we face here in Staten Island, to deal with the crime crisis that we're facing right now, and to deal with the economic disparities and the education disparities, how great our chancellor is, how great the future of our schools look in his hands. We cannot be happy, successful, or content until we live up to that creed. And I promise you to continue to do that with my partners here and with all of you. Thank you very much. God bless you. And thanks for letting me join you.
All right. Mike looks young because of Judge Judy, by the way. But we're going to leave that there. We have a representative from Jemani Williams' office here as well, our public advocate. We just want to recognize him or her. Here he is. There he is, right there in the back. Our public advocate is always a beacon of light and always makes sure he's represented here in Staten Island, and we certainly appreciate you for that. I appreciate him and you for that. Our public administrator is here. We want to ask her to come and address us, Mrs. Edwina Martin. Wonderful.
Good morning, everyone. I actually wasn't expecting to be asked to speak, so I'm going to be really brief. I want to just thank Dr. Carolina for having this program and building on it over 17 years. It just gets better and better every year, doesn't it? So let's give him a hand. It has been the honor and adventure of my life to be able to serve the people of Staten Island as the first woman and first African-American public administrator on Staten Island. And one of the things that I am most proud of is developing a program that I've been able to bring to communities throughout Staten Island, teaching people more about advanced planning. I plan to do even more of these programs and more. So please reach out to my office if you're interested in learning more about this important area that helps to keep wealth within families and within communities. I'm not sure about the numbers in the most recent studies, but the wealth gap in this country is real and it's growing. The average Black family has wealth savings of about $500. The average white family, $250,000. We've got to change that dynamic, and that's how we bring health and bounty to our communities everywhere. So I look forward to continue to work with all of you. I just want to thank Assemblymember Fall, District Attorney McMahon, and my mentor, Councilwoman Rose, for all that they have done to build up our Staten Island community as well. You know, it only happens when we work together, not when we work alone. I want to congratulate all of today's honorees for the phenomenal and important roles that you all play in building our Staten Island community. And I look forward to enjoying the rest of today's event.
Standing together strong through historic challenges. That's the theme. I want to also, talking about education, recognize our principal from District 75 Pathways, graduating principal, Don Swinson. Right there, he's in the back, standing there. Don, thank you. He was standing back there looking like one of the district attorney's security, and so I said to him, welcome. And he says that he was a principal. I said, well, I would behave myself if I were in your school, that's for sure. Yeah. I want to also recognize from Rumsey, Alex. Alex is always doing great work. Is Alex still here? He's the VP of, okay, Alex was here, VP of Communications for Rumsey. As you know, Rumsey is the immediate healthcare provider in this community, and we are honoring their executive director. But I also want to take a moment to thank Alex because he is phenomenal. Just know that he is phenomenal at the work that he does with our community. And in recognizing Rumsey, I have to recognize Staten Island University Hospital is not only a partner, but one of our sponsors, and Mr. Michael Carr. Man, oh man, Mike Carr. This guy is like the Energizer Bunny. He learned a lot from Christine Holly. My God. Everywhere I go, I see this guy talking about energy. It's great to see him. And right before because you see a lot of awards back here, so we're more than halfway done. We're going to go to the awards. There are two leaders that we have to hear from because they really are, give them their flowers while they are alive, right? And I often say this, as a man, where would we be without our women? Amen. Where would we be without the women in our lives? She's very quiet, but I want to recognize my lovely wife, Jacinia. I'm telling you, give a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. And so she's mine. Don't nobody. But I want to. I'm back. It's happened every now. Yeah. No, the Lord made me do that one. Thank God for the Lord. I want to recognize a phenomenal woman and have her come and say a couple words to us. She was the leader of the ministers' conference when I initially came here. She took on that mantle and was able to bring, there's something to your ability to bring leaders together. Leaders have strong personalities for a reason. That's because they're leaders. And to be able to corral leaders for a common goal, a purpose, a mission, takes some work and some tenacity and some fortitude. And then she went from there to become the leader of the Council of Churches for the borough. And she is just a phenomenal pastor. She is truly a friend of mine. And I can call her and we can have very serious conversations as leaders. And they stay with each other. And she's just a dynamo. So I'm going to ask her. Now she's serving on the PEP. She's now over a committee that addresses the educational disparities in curriculum for the city as well. She's doctor, credible doctor. She's reverend. She's pastor, and she runs a international religious organization as well. So I'm just proud to call her my friend, Reverend Dr. Kathy Lane.
I have to just make a correction. I am Reverend Dr. Kathleen Barrett Williams to be. I'm so privileged and thankful to your leadership, Dr. Carolina, as all of you that are sitting here. You have made such an impact in Staten Island, and it has made leadership easy by being able to work with people that are willing to get behind the wheel and not be afraid to drive the car. And so people like Dr. Carolina who don't mind getting their hands dirty and get in there and do the grunt work and get things done, like my mentor, Miss Debbie Rose, Inspector Kinsella, Mayor Marge Garvin, and so many of you that sit here as businessmen, as educators, as politicians, as elected officials, as community people, as advocates, as fighters for truth. It reminds me of the song, Pastor Carolina, after 17 years of doing this, we've come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in his holy word. He's never failed us. Oh, can't turn around. We've come this far by faith. God bless you.
That's my leader. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I want to recognize, as was mentioned, Mother Marge Garvey and Mother Dixon. They're sitting here. These are true champions. True champions. Yes, that's true. True champions. One more recognition before our awards ceremony is a person without whom we really would not have been able to bring together so many different groups. Now, leadership, very rarely do you get the credit while you are doing the work. But we need to give her some credit, because God knows for years to come, we will see the manifestation of the efforts and work of former Councilwoman Debbie Rose. Truly phenomenal woman.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Wow. You know, most people have to wait till they're laying in front in a box to get the kind of recognition that you have brought to me, made sure that I get, and all of you. I stand before all of you humble and grateful. Humble and grateful, because I recognize that without you, I am nothing. Without the ancestors, I am nothing. We talk a lot about whose shoulders we stand on. We have such a rich history. We have a very rich history. We have a rich history here on Staten Island, you know, and people don't know it. They, much like on the international level, they know Martin Luther King and they know Malcolm X and they know Harriet Tubman, but they don't know all of the others, the thousands, the millions, the ones that were lost in the crossing of the Middle Passage. They don't know their names and their stories, but we stand on their shoulders. It's the same here on Staten Island. You don't know all of the names of the people who have contributed to make Staten Island, and especially our community, a great place. You recognize a few names, and I am blessed to be one of those names that you might recognize. But there are a lot of names, and it's because we are a community. And one of the things that I hope that I was able to do was plant some seeds. And I feel like some of those seeds have germinated. I see it here. I see it in the leadership And we have people in positions that we never had positions on Staten Island. Never. We're talking about our first public administrator who's not only Black, but a woman. We're talking about 2 district leaders in our political party that we've never had before. We're talking about women and men who are leading organizations that are doing the work and getting things accomplished. I am so humble and thankful and grateful to all of you who made the 12 years. And I have to say, it was challenging. Don't let anybody ever think that you arrive at a place where people want to give you some appreciation, that there was not challenges. And I know that our Deputy Inspector Kinsella can tell you. I know that everybody here in leadership can tell you a story where there were challenges. And I want you to know there were challenges every day. And I did not forget not one day that I was in office that I was Black. Not one day. And that was because it was voluntary and involuntary. I was reminded in rooms where I was the only one, or my voice, or my feelings, or my ideology, or the principles that I stood by were singular, and I was the only one. So I just want to thank you all. I want to thank you. I want to tell you that life comes with challenges, but be persistent. The mayor used to always introduce me as Debbie Rose. She's so persistent, like it was a negative, you know? And I want to tell you, be persistent. Keep on fighting, because that's how we get where we need to be. Be persistent, and don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Don't let anybody kill your dreams. There's a lot of things that I wanted to see happen on Staten Island that have happened. And there are a lot that are going to happen. And there are a lot that didn't happen and won't happen. But yesterday, I got to see the manifestation of you with the commissioning of the Sandy Ground. Our story will be told. People, thousands of people every day will know our story. And so I want to say to you, just be persistent. Don't stop. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. I love you and I thank you. I can't thank you enough for the 12 years of support and love.
This is an uplifting moment, and thank you, former Councilwoman Debbie Rose, for all that you have done and will continue to do, because we're going to make sure that we don't go backward. I said we're going to make sure we don't go backward. The administration, I want to thank Shanina Terraris. Where's Shanina? Come down, Shanina, because it's time for the awards. Come on down, Miss Shanina. I want to thank Miss Amber, who's done a great job. Is Amber with us? I want to thank Miss Jacinia. I want to thank Yancy, who had to stay home with the babies. And I want to thank Deadrian Clark, who is really my boss. Come on down, Deadrian. And then I'm going to ask if the committee, you know who you are. Come on, committee. Every year we do this. Come on, Minnie. Come on, Tiff. Come on, Dr. Lane. Thank you. Come on, Mike. Come on, district leaders. They're so shy, the committee. Thank you so much. Oh, I can't see this. So this is a proclamation from the governor's office. Thank you, Tom, for bringing that. I want to also recognize Anthony Posada from Legal Aid. Anthony Posada makes certain that we get legal representation. Stan, Anthony, I want them to see you. He's a phenomenal part of our True to Life, and certainly a phenomenal part of us making sure our community gets appropriate legal representation. We call him a lot. We call him a lot. I want you all to get a picture of this wonderful committee. Am I missing anybody who was part of this committee? Who? Yeah, Liz. Come on, Liz. Kimon. Somebody said Kimon. I said Deadrian. I must have used the wrong name. She's upstairs. Shanina. Shanina's pointing to somebody else, and she's not up there. Come on, committee. These are hardworking men and women, and when I ask, they come. And because of COVID, you know, we've had some challenges, but I am appreciative of them working with me and us working together through technology. Here comes Kimon, and here comes Shanina. Thank you, thank you. All right, excellent. We truly have some phenomenal people. We're going to allow our former councilwoman to stay seated, even though she's always on the committee. I sure do. So what we're going to do this year is a little different. We're going to give out the awards in groups underneath the name of the topic of your award. And then we're going to celebrate you. We're going to take a picture. You will be seated. Then we're going to do the next group. We're going to celebrate. You will be seated, you know, like that, because time is of the essence, and we've done a great job with time. The first award is our Youth Award. And you all know who made the recommendations committee, right? So our Youth Award, we're going to ask the three youth to come up. Peter, Isaiah, and Dominique. All three of our youth. All right, are they here? I can see Peter. That's Peter, P-E-T-E-R. All right. So I said it a million times. Okay, I'm making sure. All right. How about T-A-N-A-Y-A-H? Miss Tanaya? All right. Our Business Award. We have a phenomenal soul food restaurant that just opened up, but she's known globally for the great work that she does. Miss Dixon, are you here? She's not? Okay. You're making it easy for me. Shawnee? Okay. Very good. How about the pavilion? Anybody been to the pavilion? Miss Weaver, are you here? All right. So this gentleman is not only a phenomenal dentist, my dentist. He's so inventive that he just invented a worldwide telehealth tool that one can see and analyze and provide some type of feedback for dentistry without you being in person there. And he is bringing to Staten Island a world-renowned representation of what true excellence is, not just Black excellence, excellence, period. And that is Dr. Terrence Stratford. Dr. Stratford, we want you to know that every one of you received certificates from our public advocate, who we heard from our city council, Camilla Hanks, from our DA's office, DA Mike McMahon. From our Assemblyman's office, Assemblyman Charles Fall. From our State Senator's office, State Senator Diane J. Savino. Yes, yes. That must be from our center, the Central Family Life Center. I mean, my eyes are not that bad. From Assemblyman Mike Cusick's office. All right, I want you all to know you got to make space on your walls. From, yes, I said that, our district attorney. You may have gotten two. That's right. From our comptroller's office, Comptroller Landa. From our Congresswoman's office, Congresswoman Nicole Malinatakis. I hope I said the last name right. It was close enough, right? All right. I said a public advocate's office. And certainly from our committee, the 17th Annual Staten Island Black History Town Hall Committee. All right, we're going to get another picture with you. Just stay right there, sir. Our Education Award. Oh, my goodness. These are great and phenomenal educators. First young woman is not only an educator, she's a counselor. She has her own podcast, mindfulness podcast. She's a motivator. She is a consultant to educational institutions, to families. She's AKA. You wouldn't be able to tell until she comes up here because of certain colors. And she is just a great friend and a phenomenal leader, Miss Tracy Evant Ford. Excellent. Stay right there. Stay right there. You're tall. Stay right here with us. We want you to stay with us. Excellent. All right. That's right. Keep taking pictures. This is good stuff. This young man is a former NYPD officer. He is, in fact, an educator. He has come with such energy to lead our youth male initiative, where he's brought young men together, over 35 on a regular basis, to talk about meaningful help information. He is also the leader who makes sure that our Youth Build program has participants. He is really just an energized, positive force and a phenomenal educator indeed, Minister Lawrence De Silva. Thank you. Committee? That's right. Great work, right? All right. I'm going to ask Dale Smith to come and recognize our next two educational leaders, because I know them, but he works with them on a regular basis.
Good afternoon. Say it a little better. Good afternoon. There we go. That's truly African. Black History Month, right? Amen. So the next young lady I'm going to bring on is phenomenal teacher, librarian, liberation scholar. Now, the chance to talk about liberation. This scholar liberates our young people every day. She is the educational director of the Michael Hines Saturday Academy. Michael Hines Saturday Academy, stand up. Y'all give them a big round of applause. Every Saturday, along with her granddaughter that she has to bring, which we love, she comes and gives education on a Saturday, early in the morning. When we had COVID on the Zoom, she never missed a Zoom. We've read 7 to 8 books in that time period, read through them fully. And we're in the process, with her help, of writing our own book about the Saturday Academy. That's a round of applause right there. So without further ado, I want you to give a rousing Michael Hines Saturday Academy cheer for our educational director, Miss Valerie Kimbrough. Come on. This next young man is the future of our community. He is a budding scholar, a bright light. He's a light in a dark room. He is building through charter schools and our community and being a great example for what young Black men should be. So I want to bring him on and give Mr. Kevin Walter a great round of applause. Come on.
Oh, my. Community Award. These are, you're talking about leaders. I talked about Rumsey earlier. Dan Messina is truly a champion for the people. Dan has come on board and has taken Rumsey to new heights in many, many ways. And I would tell you, I've called on Dan. Now, he is the chief operating officer of the institution. And Dan really has a feel and a touch for people. He will pick up the phone and make certain things get done for our communities. When we talk about, and this is I'm passionate because this is my area, health disparities, it is important when we talk about the social determinants of health, that there are people there that have a heart and a mind. I don't know why the judge is sitting there. Judge is a part of the committee, and Judge Greg is sitting in the pews. Judge, you're part of the committee. Here come the judge. Dan makes certain that everyone is treated with dignity and with grace. The executive director of Rumsey, Dan Messina. Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, Dan. Dan wants to thank us real quick.
I know I'm stealing the microphone, but I just want to thank Reverend Carolina. I want to thank Debbie Rose, somebody who was one of my mentors too. Thanks to Debbie Rose, in large part, along with many other elected officials, the hospital is on a new trajectory. We're in the middle of $200 million in construction. That's going to change the complexion of the hospital and just modernize it like you've never seen. And it's only about 11 months away. That was the one thing I wanted to say. The other thing I wanted to say, April 9th, in the spirit of Black History Month, Arnold Obie is somebody who we all know, I think, in the spirit, and he was a very good friend of mine. Matter of fact, we used to run together, and my last run was with Arnold Obie, going over the boardwalk.
but we are naming the Rumsey Run after Arnold Obie. So April 9th, 9 o'clock, April 9th, 9 o'clock, please come and see me. I would love to see. I grew up in this neighborhood, Van Duzer Street, Bismarck Avenue, and Benziger Avenue. This was my home. So thank you, Reverend.
Dan, I'm gonna correct you and say this is your home. All right, so welcome back and stand right there because you have some tall folks behind you. All right. This young man, again, is leading the way in building bridges for us. He is height challenged like our Assemblyman Charles Fall, none other than our friend and brother, Reverend Teddy Otobo Sharif. Wonderful. Thank you. There you go. Making me feel short. All right. Community. Miss Cruz, who nominated Miss Cruz? Who nominated Miss Cruz and Miss Mata? All right, committee. There you go. Come on, Jazzy. One of our district leaders.
Yesenia Mata and Ms. Zalma Cruz, please come up if you're here. The reason why you're being nominated because you do phenomenal work, and I have to acknowledge that the fact that I'm Afro-Latina and I have to support my Latina sisters. So this is important, and we are Black and brown. So it's very key and crucial that we acknowledge not only our Black sisters, but our brown sisters as well. So Yesenia Mata from La Comena and Zoma Cruz, who works with Project Hospitality, does so much work in the community. So if you're watching this, please know that you are valued, you are appreciated today and every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jazzy. Appreciate you, Miss Jazzy. All right, and we're down to the last two. One, our Nelson Mandela Achievement Award goes to, every time I see him, I call him my leader because he really is. He is truly, I think he's been leading the NAACP now for over 40 years. For 23 years. All right, I was telling my age 40, but 23 years. And he continues, oh my goodness, to have a lot of energy, a lot of tenacity, and a lot of effort. And we love you, Mr. Josie. Please come and receive this award. Mandela! Oh. So they can see it. Our Mandela Award, Mr. Ed Josie. And of course, you know Miss Betty Bellamy, who really, this is a posthumous award, but she has led the way in so many ways with our National Negro Women's Congress, with the work she's done through the churches, through all the groups. And I believe one or two of our sons may be with us. Oh, wonderful. Come. Excellent. And certainly NAACP as well. Come right here. So we want to take your picture for Mom. She is truly a phenomenal lady. Just come grab this. All right. There you go. Miss Betty. Now, Betty Bellamy, we want to now take a group picture with the committee and our awardees. We just ask, you know how we do this every year. We're going to make it quick. Those who are tall in the back, the awardees, we're going to get some chairs for you real quick so you can sit down. This is a very important part of what we do. All right, we're there. DA, please come. Yes, our assemblyman, please come. Inspector. All right. All right, I think we're good, right? So for the picture, you can take the mask off real quickly, just for the picture. All right. Our public admit. There you go. Please. Nobody wants to say? Say one more time, sis. All right. Everyone, please look forward. Everybody look up for a second. All right, let's thank everybody again for being here. Thank all of our honorees. Woo! Dr. Wesby, will you come back, please? Going to close us out with a beautiful musical tribute. Nope, but I'm going to have you do it. So we're going to take the chairs back, and you know what we do every year? We recognize all the groups that are with us that we might not have recognized. So it might have your attention just for a second. We're almost done. We want to recognize all the groups that we may not have noticed that are with us. So any groups that are with us that we have not recognized, we want to do that now. So please lift your hand, any groups that are with us, please. Everyone listen, please. We want you to hear all the groups. Yes.
Harriet Tubman, Purple Hat Society.
Harriet Tubman, Purple Hat Society. Wonderful.
The Staten Island Alumni Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
The Deltas. See that? That's why this is so important. Any other groups? Yes, yes.
Silver Lake Lodge, number 59, Green Accepted Mason, State of New York.
Silver Lake, the Masons. Yes, please. Everyone listen up. I want you to hear these groups.
We have the NICID Arches program here tonight.
All right, NICID is with us. Arches program, very important program. Yes.
Staten Island Strong HBCU College Tour Team.
All right, College Tour, very important. First Central Baptist Church Deacons Ministry is here, represented by our own Deacon Hines, Deacon LaWanda Hines. Any other groups? Bishop Victor Brown is with us today, and he's also representing Mount Sinai Church and also NYPD chaplain, and we're so glad to have him with us today. I'm sorry.
Also, the United Federations of Teachers.
Wonderful. Reverend Wayne McDougall is here with us as well from the Mount Sinai Church as well. Thank you always for your leadership. All right. Any other groups? This is important because we're standing together. Yes,
the Richmond County Black Minority Chamber of Commerce.
All right. Richmond County Black and Minority Chamber of Commerce.
The First Central Baptist Church Women's Ministry.
All right. Our women. Where would we be without our women?
Joe Mudgett, Van Duzer Civic Association, former president and still member after many, many years of safety in the community. Thank you.
Van Duzer Civic.
We have the 369 Veterans Association here as well.
All right, thank God for our veterans. All right, did I miss? We want to make sure we recognize everyone.
Al-Kebalan Consciousness Rising.
Al-Kebalan Consciousness.
St. Philip's Baptist Church, Community Board 1, Local Area Committee for Port Richmond and Mariners Harbor, Project Hospitality, and now I'm also with New World Prep Academy.
Excellent, Deacon John Macbeth. All right, here we go. This is our closeout.
She can't see it. Oh. Good afternoon. Tomorrow we are hoping that you will attend the Keeping the Light tomorrow at the National Lighthouse Museum. It's sponsored by Black Heritage and Rocket Natural. The Lighthouse Museum had no representation of people of color, and through our collective efforts, Staten Island Black Heritage and Rocket Natural, we will be showing a presentation. You can go online, go on the National Lighthouse website. Please support. We made a big deal. We said we need representation here, and they agreed to do it. So now we have to show that we are appreciative of the representation, and we will support them when they have us so that our community can come and be represented at the National Lighthouse Museum. Go online and purchase your tickets. Thank you.
Thank you all for your attention and for being here. So wonderful. Appreciate it. All right. Dr. Welsby. Listen up, everyone. Nice and loud. We're on our way out. Listen up. Shh. Thank you so much. Here we go.
It's my great honor and privilege to present my dear friend and colleague. I don't think he needs much introduction for most of you, but we have in our midst a world famous baritone, Anthony Turner. He will be accompanied by the extraordinary pianist, Barbara Lee, and who is, by the way, the music director at Trinity Lutheran Church, not me. I'm just on a committee. Anthony is going to sing for you 3 brief songs by Margaret Bonds, a wonderful African-American composer based in Chicago, died recently. The poetry is by Langston Hughes, the great poet of the Harlem Renaissance. Anthony Turner.
Thank you, everyone. It's an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be here. These are 3 very short songs dealing, the first one, Minstrel Man, dealing with all the tragedy and pain and atrocities of our people, we can still find a smile. The second one, Dream Variation, because we can see the sun and the moon, we can still dance and twirl. And the last one is entitled, I Too Sing America.
Because my mouth is wide with laughter and my throat is deep with song. You do not think I suffer after I have held my pen so because my mouth is wide with laughter, you do not hear my inner cry, because my feet are gay with dancing, you do not know
To fling my arms wide in some place in the sun, to whirl and to dance till the white day is done, then rest at cool evening beneath a tall tree, while night comes on gently, dark like me. That is my dream. To fling my arms wide in the face of the sun, dance, whirl, whirl, till the quick day is dawn. Rest at pale evening, a tall, slim tree, night coming tenderly, black like me, night coming tenderly, black like me. I too sing America, I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. I'll sit at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed.
Wasn't that wonderful? Fitting into a phenomenal program, lifting all of us here, right? Standing together through historic challenges. Thank you all for being here. I want to take a moment to thank Reverend Antoinette Donegan as well. I don't know where she is, but thank you, Reverend Donegan, for your efforts and your work toward making this program such a great success. Let us all stand at this time as we dismiss. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe joining hands. We shall overcome someday. One more time. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Yes. My prayer is that God will bless you and keep you and strengthen you now and forevermore. Amen. God bless you. My leader, thank God for you. Thank God for you.